Finance Clinic show. This is your host, Dr. Pardon Mwansa, and it is a great joy to have you join us again. You know, I got quite a lot of feedback from our last show from different people expressing that they were blessed by these programs. You know, at the Finance Clinic shows, we explore different topics on the life of an individual or the financial general life as it is. As a matter of fact, I got a phone call. I got a text from Sydney, Gilbert Chibula Ovundola, who really took time to express the appreciation that he had for the show that he watched, the previous one. Now, let's switch and go into the clinic. When you go to a clinic, you are given symptoms, signs of something that is wrong or something that is okay with your body. So at this time, I would like us to look at the signs. What are the signs of a person that needs to attend to their financial life? Sign number one. When you start to borrow in order to pay your debt. Now, this is serious. This is not just borrowing to meet your needs. This is now borrowing in order to pay your debt. You see, when you find yourself in a situation or in situations where you are owing somebody or you haven't paid your dues, your bills that are due, and in order for you to address your debt, you start borrowing in order to pay your debt. That is a very serious sign of a life that is financially stressed. You need treatment. Number two, when you start having sleepless nights because of your financial worries. When you are in a lot of financial stress, the financial stress in the day when there are a lot of people acting and talking to you and interacting with you, you may actually find yourself, your mind is engaged with other things, including the day-to-day activities of life. But when you go to bed, if you are a financially stressed woman, financially stressed man, your sleep will start escaping you because within your mind now, you start reflecting on how is my life doing? How is my life in this? Have I paid for that? Have I met this other bill? When you start having sleepless night because of your financial worries, you need to go to the finance clinic for treatment. Our topic today is entitled Financial Lifespan Planning. Financial Lifespan Planning. This will be part one. We will have part two in our next show. But for today, Financial Lifespan Planning. In this entire subject of financial lifespanning, we will look at the total picture of how should you as a person approach the subject of financial money management in your lifespan, not just at one moment, because good finance management starts and includes the entire lifespan. At this time, I would now like us to look at the topic of our day, which is financial lifespan planning. Let me make a statement that you need to remember. A successful financial life is not an accident. A financial successful life is one in which somebody deliberately plans and deliberately pursues the acquisition of skills that are necessary to manage finances well. So let's look at a general picture of what we would call lifespan. Many would agree that life in general takes about 70 years. Now, obviously, for those who are blessed to live longer, they will live above 70. I, for one, pray that I'll live above 70. But as a general observation, even scripture testifies to this, that man is given 70 years to live. And this is about normal to many, in many cases. Now, what I want us to do is to look at how do you, as a money manager, managing your personal finances or your financial life, how do you plan to manage your financial life in these 70 years? Now, these 70 years are divided into 3 phases. I would like to share, in general, these 3 phases. Then I will narrow down my comments to one phase. Phase 1 of your life is that one which ranges approximately from 0 to 25 years. This is time that is characterized by no income. Very few people have an income, start making a significant income or any income until they are done with college. So this 0 to 25 years is time when people have no income, when they are in schools, and this is just time when they are preparing themselves to go into the next phase of life, which is the working phase. The working phase of life generally spans from age 25 to about age 60. Now, some don't even get to 60. By 55, they either retire. But for the purposes of these 3 phases, the next phase is that from 25 to 60 years. This is a life phase in which a person now starts working. This is a time when people start making money. This is a time when people get married, they marry, they have a family. This is a time when actually people now are living from what they had planted in the first 25 years of their lives. The third phase of life is that which stretches from about 60 to about 70 plus for those who live longer. This stage or this phase of life is generally regarded as retirement time. During retirement time, there is no, or actually very little income that a person earns. During this phase of life, a person is now living on what they made from the 25 to the 60-year life phase. This retirement time is one, and I'm laughing because this retirement phase is fraught with, or it is clouded with complex issues. No income or less income, health starts failing. This is when, when you are young, you get out of bed straight up like that. You stretch, you are bouncing, you are everything. During that stage, to wake up from bed, you first of all do this, and you start turning to make sure you don't break your back. Your health starts shutting. And the truth of the matter is, it continues shutting until you die. Even those who are and die in good health, they die because the system called the body starts shutting and shutting. The bones get weaker. That's why when older people break their bones, it's very difficult, or it takes longer to heal. So that's phase number 3. I guess the question or the issue that we now want to look at is that of asking yourself the question, how do I manage my wealth in these 3 phases of life? Because it's your responsibility to manage your financial life in these years of these 3 phases. I would like us, for this presentation today, to focus on phase 1, 0 to 25. Hold on. Somebody is saying, what are you going to do with 0 to 25? There is no income. There's no income. So what are you going to talk about on phase 1? Parents, I want you to listen to this. Teachers, I want you to listen to this. And I'll come to each of these. Parents, teachers, church pastors, I want you to listen to this. Because this, of all the 3 phases of financial management, 0 to 25 is the most crucial phase of one's financial life, because it is in this phase when habits are formed that will govern how the person will spend, how the person will earn, how the person will try to save for their retirement. So if you ever thought 0 to 25 is a let me sit and relax time, I will come and learn how to manage money when I start working, you are wrong. Join me now on the journey of exploring habits that should be established before a person starts earning money. Habit number 1, hard work. A person between age 0 to 25 must acquire the habit of working hard. Working, unfortunately, has gained a reputation of almost being something negative. When you tell people to work, hey, gentlemen, ladies, let's go to work, let's work hard, they feel like it's a punishment. But let me state this, and hopefully you will catch this. Working hard is a seed that when planted at the age of 0 to 25, that habit of working hard will move into the adult life and will prove to be a lifesaver financially to the person. What is working hard? Working hard simply means teaching people to know that life is about working and not lazing out, being active and doing something so that you are at work. Hard work. As a matter of fact, they say without sweat you cannot eat. So working hard is important. Habit number 2. Help your child develop healthy sleeping habits. You know, in this modern time, this modern age, starting from the time when we were high on electronics, when the social systems of communication came in and became operative, most of the children have lost needed sleeping habits that will one day tell on their health. Children need to learn that they need to rest enough in the night. They need to rest enough in order to be active when daytime has come. Children need to learn. They need to sleep 7 to 8 hours, which is the recommended time for sleeping for somebody to regain their strength. Parents, and I am a parent, you have a task to do. And I beg you, almost beg you, because I know the future generation, the success of this country, the success of your child's life is dependent on learning proper sleeping habits. When your child is all the time on the phone in the night, it beeps at 1 a.m. they are answering, at 4 a.m. they are answering, at 5 a.m. they are answering. When do they sleep? You need to help your kids develop good sleeping habits. Train them to know that when they sleep sufficient, they will have power and energy and alertness of mind to now face the day. Habit number 3, healthy habits. Wait. You are saying to yourself now, Doc, what has this to do with finance management? A life that is not trained to know healthy habits will come and pay a lot of money to correct the effects of bad healthy habits. One of the things that I remember when I was in high school, I went to St. Clement's Boys Secondary School in Imansa. One of the things that I really appreciate about that time of my life as a teenager is my engagement in exercise. We would go out to play volleyball, we would go out to play basketball, we would go out to play different sports. What I have realized at my stage now in life, when I am approaching this last phase of life, is that the activities I was engaged in when I was a teenager formed the basis upon which I am able to carry out a life behavior, health patterns that are able to sustain me even now as I advance in age. Children need to know to be active, to be exercising. They need to eat proper foods, not junk food, not chips, not jiggies, whatever they call that stuff. Now, I'm not attacking those foods, relax. All I am saying is wrong food or wrong eating habits that will not enhance the well-being of your child will come and tell on the life of your child. In other words, your child will come and start spending a lot of money resulting from poor healthy habits. Habit number 3, value of education. That's habit number 4, value of education. Many children or many kids in primary, secondary school, even college sometimes, do not understand the value of education. How many kids have we seen when they get their transcripts and they have failed and they are not able to be admitted in college, then start realizing that what they did or did not do has now become a basis for their future progress. Now, research has shown, research is clear, that the more a person gets an education, the higher their income will be when they start working. There is no question on this. As a matter of fact, the difference or the disparity in the potential earned income of a person who is educated and who's not educated, by this I'm trying to say a person who either just ends up at grade 12 but does not go up, the difference in the earned income is enormous. Parents, take time to tell and teach your child to value education, because it is what they will do with their education, how successful they are, that will tomorrow actually make a difference in their potential income. You're asking yourself, what can you do? They go to school. That's not enough. Engage in doing assignments with your child. Make sure your child does the assignments that are given from school. Follow your child when they go to school for activities. Accompany them. Let them know that you value. Work with them. Sometimes stay with them until they, why is my mom, why is my dad staying with me when I'm doing this? And it's because you value. Children, value your education. Habit number 5, work for money. You know, many parents think it's being great to just supply everything to the child. What do you need? Drive the child to work. What do you need? Pick what clothes do you need? What this do you need? And the child just gets and gets. Now, I'm not attacking that kind of lifestyle. If you are blessed with means and you need to supply as much as you can for your family, that's okay. However, if your child does not learn to start making some little money when they are in that 0 to 25 years of life, they will grow up thinking somebody owes them life. You know, there are kids who actually think their parents owe them life. Hey, your parent only brought you on earth as their child, but you are going to live life on your own. As a matter of fact, when I'll talk about phase 2, I'll tell you why you need to approach life as a young person, depending on you and how God will raise you, and not on your parents. Parents, make your children work for money. Give them small chores and encourage them to get a job when they are on vacation, on holiday. Tell them to do this. Tell them to learn that working is the means by which people make money. Habit number 6, value of time. Oh boy. I don't know. I could spend the whole presentation talking on teaching your child to value time. How many times do we see children from morning watching TV? Just watching TV, from watching TV to the table to eat. To the table to eat food you as the parents prepared. And yet they were sitting in the sitting room watching TV. You are busy donking yourself preparing their food. All they do is go to the table and eat. The value of time has to do with teach your child to know they need to value the 24 hours we have in a day and use it for valuable things. Recently, I watched a show that actually outlined 7 habits of poor people. One of those habits had to do with people who spend more time watching TV. Now, kids, I'm not attacking your watching TV. There is time for everything in life. Relax. However, if you are going to be watching TV hours and hours in a day, then you go to WhatsApping and texting for the rest. When do you study? When do you think about life? The value of time is so important. I would actually say to you, when you wake up in the morning, make a list of what you want to do in that day. Value your time and use your time. Let me guarantee you one thing. A child who learns how to use their time will prove to be successful in life. The next set of habits: integrity and honesty. Or integrity is defined or understood as a person of honesty behavior. Don't think you will come and learn to be honest when you start getting your salary. Wrong. Don't think you will learn to be honest when you start posting things in your bank or as a worker. Habits of integrity are learned from childhood. So teach your child to know that to be honest is important in life. To tell the truth as it is, honest is important in life. The next habit is taking care of things. You know, taking care of things has to do with how many times have you seen a person is using a glass of water, they use it, immediately they have used it, what do? They just don't even care, they just throw it anywhere. Water is life. What do? They simply throw that thing out, they are careless. You give them a car to drive, they are careless. You give them, they are careless. Taking care of things will help a person have an orderly life. A well-ironed dress, a well-ironed shirt will last longer than a shirt that is cramped like it has come out of a goat's mouth. Teach your child to put things in order, to organize. Let them take care of things. When they finish watering in the garden, let them wind up the hose pipe. Because if you don't do that, your car will run over it. It will crack, it will break, it will start leaking. Teach your child habits of taking care of things. Next habit, keeping promises. You know how keeping promises comes in financially? You see these people, they are adults, they are adult age, they are retired. They will go and say to a person, please, may I borrow money? I'll pay you on Wednesday. And the person says, you know, I need to use this money. Oh, no, I'll bring it on Wednesday. For sure, I'll bring it on Wednesday. And they are given money. Wednesday comes, they switch off their phone. They never learned the habits that say, when you make a promise, you must honor that promise. When you say, I will do this, the habit of honoring promises is one that kids need to learn. When a child says, I am going to do this, remind them and say, son, my daughter, you've promised me. Keep your promise. A child who learns the habits of keeping promises when they are young, between age 0 to 25, will continue in life honoring principles of keeping promises. The next habit, saving. You know, saving does not necessarily mean your child should go and open a bank account, even though there's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, I would recommend it. I opened my first bank account at age 14 with the post office in those days. Banks were not common for personal accounts. Teach your child to learn to save. When you give them money, go ahead and tell your child, hey, you know, keep some of this money. Don't use all of it. Keep money for times when you will need it. Teach your child to know how to save. You will find out in life that when a child has learned saving principles in different phases of life, even when they are grown, when they are between the ages 25 to 60, they will perpetuate those habits because they have learned them from when they were young. The next habit is that of having or leading a debt-free life. You know, when you are still in secondary school and you start a life of begging or a life of borrowing, please, may I have some money, I'll pay you. That habit of borrowing all the time, just wanting to borrow, creating a life of debt, will train a person to look at debt as something very good, as a means of surviving. Now, we'll come and talk about debt or credit at some other shows that will come in the future, and at which point I'll clarify when can credit or debt be valuable. But as a general rule, a life free from debt is a life that you want to lead as a good financial manager. You know, when you look at life and you realize that you live a life that is debt-free, a life that is not all the time asking, let me have this, let me have this, you will grow into a person who has learned to lead their lives without going into destructive habits. The next one is that of faithfulness to God. And you know what? I reserved this for the last. Faithfulness to God. Faithfulness to God is a habit that must be developed between ages 0 to 25 and not wait until a person says, when I start making money, then I will learn to be faithful to God. Now, the Bible teaches us, or it encourages us to care for the poor. It encourages us to care for our parents. It encourages us to give offerings to church. It encourages us to return tithe. The truth of the matter is, these habits are not habits that are only acquired by accident when a person starts earning a large income. You need to train your child from 0 to 25. When they are playing with their friends and a friend is in need, to help and give that child. It's a Christian practice. You need to train your child as they come to church to know that they have to give a praise offering to God. You have to train your child to know that Scripture teaches faithfulness in tithing. So teach them to start tithing, even from the small amounts that they actually earn. When your child has learned these habits, number one, I would like you to review the 12 habits. Review the 12 habits. If you are a parent, if you are a young person who was listening, review the 12 habits. You will be reviewing them with the intention of knowing which of those habits are you weak in. So as you review, identify your weaknesses. Which of those habits are you weak in? Which habits are you failing as a parent in helping your child understand? When you identify those, and this assignment, I'm asking you to identify, hopefully, all the habits you need to work on, but at least do 3. You can say, for example, I need to help my child value time. And so I'm going to be training my child on how to value time by teaching them how to use time in a day. So that's an example of a weakness. You can say, I think I'm weak in this area, I need to grow. But then I need you to develop a plan of solving or dealing with those three weaknesses. You could say, for example, if you want to teach your child on the value of time, you could say, I will take or I will require my child to go to the library from this time to this time. I will limit their watching of television to 1 hour a day. You decide what plan will you use to address the areas that you perceived as your weak areas. Now, we want to hear from you. We want to know how you are doing with the assignments. And so for that reason, I would invite you to get in touch with us on the number that is appearing on the screen. Get in touch. Ask your questions. Share with us your experience. Let's know how you are doing with your assignment. And we want to see how your life is changing from one level of financial management to another level. We invite you. It's every Sunday. There is a show. Sometimes, even at different days, our shows do come. Blessings until we see you at our next show. Stay blessed.